Let's talk about the Lakers, who have won 6 of their last 7. The latest to win in Charlotte on Monday, Anthony Davis, 42-23 in that game, re-entering that MVP chat, if you will. Lakers are 26-18 right now, 5th in the Western Conference, a game and a half behind Denver for 4th. Sam, I wouldn't put the Lakers on like that Oklahoma City tier in the West yet, but is this just a good stretch in your mind for LA, or have they jumped to another tier in that conference?
I'm going to cheat real quick and look at the old schedules because yeah, strength of competition matters. I mean,
I'll give it to you. It wasn't good. Look, it was Miami going through the Butler stuff. Brooklyn was on that list. Washington, a tired Boston team, banged up Warriors, and now they get Charlotte. So the strength of schedule was not great.
yeah, I mean the Boston win that you and I both were at was fantastic. The Warriors win is good, even with all their injuries. Go up the road in San Francisco, get that one. The Clippers loss jumps out at me as one that reminds us, that there's a ceiling to this group. And so, I mean, like you said, it's an understatement to say they're not on OKC's level. The question is, are they a play-in, kind of edge team, or are they a legitimate middle of the pack Western Conference contender? The other subplot that was so interesting when we were down there was obviously AD publicly asking for a 5, and just, I give him credit because it's a bit of an open joke that about once a year, this time of year, one of us writes that, LeBron and AD are unhappy.
But why AD can't accept that he's a 5, man? Like, no matter what he says in the preseason, he just can't accept that for really the last 3 or 4 years, he's been a 5. Like,
Yeah.
really, I mean, he keeps bringing up 2020 when they had Dwight and JaVale McGee. And I'm sure he likes having, a big body alongside him, but this team's at its best when he's playing 5.
I hear you, but I'm going to push back a little bit. Like,
Okay.
how do you, I just think I was there, you were there watching the 2020, bubble team with Dwight and with JaVale. I think it's hilarious, by the way, that Dwight, still gets to have some of his basketball ego get stroked all these years later, because he's tweeting about how, I'm right here, come get me. But AD is right. I think that, like, it's not just what it does in terms of the stuff he doesn't have to do when he's not a 5. It's the physicality that team had, dealing with Joker, dealing with the bigs, and what they don't have right now. Now, the problem, of course, is that, a JaVale at that age, a Dwight at that age, those guys are not kind of a dime a dozen at the moment. And every guy you bring up that might be, in the market for filling that job description for the Lakers, it seems like there are obstacles. So, but generally speaking, that's the only time this group got the job done completely, and he was playing the 4.
I get that. But like, given their roster, like let's play this out and say they go get a Valanciunas, Walker Kessler, Vucevic, who's available in Chicago. What they would gain, like physically and maybe rebounding wise, and maybe even offensively, they would lose defensively, because all of a sudden you've got AD alongside a non-switching type of big, and you're already weak on the perimeter. You don't have super athletic wing guys to match up anyway. So now you're creating an even bigger defensive hole that you're in. That's kind of been the standout part of this stretch, Sam, the way their defense is played. You look at the last 7 games, I was looking this up, they're 11th in offensive rating, which is right around where they are currently. They're overall 13th in offensive rating, but they're 5th in defensive rating. That right now in the season, they're 22nd. That's a huge jump. Right. And, the question is going to be like, where are they defensively? What kind of team can they be? They're probably not a top 5 defensive team, especially when they play better competition, but can they be a top 10-ish, top 15-ish defensive team? Maybe. I don't think they can, though, if they bring in one of those aforementioned bigs to play alongside. I mean, even since 2020, the game has changed. Like, it's continued to evolve to make it, more smaller, more, versatile types of players that make an impact. So, I think the Lakers do need to make a deal, but the idea that a pivot changes the equation that much, I just don't see it.
That's fair. And I mean, some of this is already out there, but some of the familiar names, like, excuse me, Vucevic, my understanding of the Lakers view is that comes with financial ripple effects that they're not interested in. The other guys, they don't want to slow down. Walker Kessler is the one that I would definitely be fascinated to see, but he's, you're not getting him unless you give up everything, and I don't see
Yep.
that happening.
You're gonna
So
get gouged by Danny Ainge in that deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, because that's one of those where Danny's he's got zero pressure on him and doesn't have to give Walker up right now. So we'll see. I mean, it seems funny to me. AD kind of does the public flex, and then I think probably is now going to have to just keep chipping away at it after the deadline. I don't anticipate the Lakers doing anything all that splashy, but we'll see what they do.
He's not wrong about, needing another big body. I don't think he needs a big body to start alongside him and play 35 minutes, but you see the guys they're rolling out there. Jackson Hayes, Christian Koloko,
Yeah, yeah,
Christian Wood's been hurt, but he's not the answer either. Like
right.
they need somebody more viable than that to play the non-AD minutes, maybe give him a 5-6 minute break playing power forward. A player of that ilk, but again, the cost is really high for that kind of guy. So I'm with you. I think it's more likely than not to be a quiet deadline in Los Angeles.